Lots happening right now in our region.
Perch patterns have been working really well.
The bite has been good.
Just keep snapping it off the box.
The down imaging, the side imaging. There's a lot of different variations and different ways to rig this.
Oh, yeah! Look at this giant.
They are heavy.
Oh, look at that.
On this week's show, it's all about the traveling angler. This is AnglingBuzz TV. I'm Troy Linder.
I'm Brett McComas.
I'm here with Brett McComas from Target Walleye. You're very active on social media, and social media has sort of changed the landscape of how we find fish and take advantage of current bites. What, in your opinion, how has it changed the whole fishing game?
Oh, no doubt there's never been a better time to get in on the hot bite. We've all heard the "you should have been here yesterday" thing. Well, back in the day, by the time you heard about a hot bite, it was over. And the only way you were going to get in on that action is to plan a trip the next year. So now, I mean, you can go online, you can see live streams. Sometimes people are catching a fish at the exact same time that you're watching and telling you where. Get in on the action, hop in your truck and head north and get after the fish.
Yeah, it is amazing. Live fishing now has become it's a big thing just in the past few years. Well, right now, let's take a closer look at the traveling angler.
You should have been here yesterday. Angling information and communication travels fast these days, especially through social media. This makes it far better for anglers who like to travel. We all have our go-to lakes and rivers, but today a lot of good multi-species anglers go on road trips to take advantage of hot seasonal bites that happen in the region. In the spring, that could mean targeting the early walleye bite on the Rainy River in Minnesota or the Whopper walleyes of Green Bay, Wisconsin. Or hunting chrome steelhead that migrate into Lake Michigan's tributary rivers. We're talking bows pushing into the double digits. As things heat up into the summer, the musky bite kicks in on Lake of the Woods, Ontario, and Leech Lake and Lake Vermilion in Minnesota. With summer warmth and sun, their metabolism rises and these freshwater beasts like to feast. Another summer opportunity that's going on right now is the red-hot salmon and trout bite that are in full swing at ports around the Great Lakes. Many anglers go on their annual Canadian fishing trips to lodges across the border for good fishing, great food, friendship, and beautiful surroundings. Whether you like to fish lakes, rivers, or streams, the equipment, technology, and information nowadays make it easier than ever to be a successful traveling angler.
Look at the size of that one. Oh my gosh, that's a big fish.
Yes, information is traveling so fast nowadays. In the world of bass tournament fishing, for example, you can see what's happening across the country, what he's throwing, where he's catching them before the weigh-in even starts.
It's incredible to have that kind of information right in the palm of your hand. You can basically pre-fish from home. So you can find out what's working right now. You can rig up your rods ahead of time, have the right baits packed, consolidate your gear. I mean, that whole pre-fishing from home thing, that even comes down to studying maps ahead of time. I'll download all my maps at home, check out places that I want to fish before I'm ever at the lake, because I don't care who you are, you don't have enough time. Time is precious. So if you're going on a fishing trip, whether it's a 1-day, a 5-day, to be able to get there and you're rigged and ready and you can fish right now, I love it. It makes life so much easier.
Yes, it does. After this short commercial break, we have our highlight destination feature and the first of our Buzz Bite reports as Angling Buzz continues.
Sportfish Michigan is your #1 source for top charter captains and fishing guides in Michigan. Our network of professionals are full-time anglers with years of experience providing customers with the best possible fishing trip services. Fish for trout, salmon, steelhead on Lake Michigan or its famous tributary rivers, the Traverse City area's world-class smallmouth bass, walleye fishing on the Detroit River and Saginaw Bay, or northern Michigan's spectacular ice fishing. We do it all. Sportfish Michigan. Get out. Get bit.
And that's all we need. We need next quarter so that we can just bonus everyone.
Yeah.
Stop working right now! Look outside. Is this spreadsheet weather? No, it's not. This is fishing weather. So stop clicking, get out there, and catch a bass. Stop what you're doing and start fishing Rapala ripstop.
Lake Vermilion. Explore. Relax. Reconnect.
Minnesota's most beautiful lake.
Oh. Get hooked on our trophy walleye.
That's a beauty.
Bass.
My favorite fish.
Musky fish.
That's a beauty there.
Things to do? You'll never get bored.
Rooms with a view? We got 'em.
Lake Vermilion. 4 seasons of fun.
Welcome back to Angling Buzz. We're talking traveling today. We have some great fishing in the upper Midwest. We also happen to have some fantastic fishing north of the border into Canada. And that's what we're going to look at today in our highlight destination, Tobin Lake and Gangler's North Seal River Lodge.
Man, Tobin has been on my fishing bucket list for a few years. I will make it there to chase those big 18-pound walleyes. I probably go to Canada about a dozen times per year, and I actually prefer driving. I know a lot of people argue that they want shotguns so they can sit back and relax, but I want my rig there. I want to use it as a base camp to sort of work out of and fish out of for the duration of the trip, because it's like my portable charging station. Everything in there has got its own spot, its own place, down to packing a cooler. We go to the grocery store the couple days before the trip, and for how much you spend on getting a week's worth of groceries, that would be like 1 or 2 gas station stops getting junk food. But just little things like that, and everything's got its own place, and I know where it is, and it's convenient, it's organized, and it just keeps you more efficient.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. Right now, let's head to Tobin Lake and Gangler's North Seal River Lodge.
Tobin is a drive-to destination for giant pike and walleye.
Beautiful.
It's an interesting Canadian lake because it's actually a reservoir. The lake was formed in 1963 when the E.B. Campbell Dam was constructed on the Saskatchewan River. This system is incredibly fertile and grows very large fish. It's one of the few lakes in North America that grows 30-pound pike and lots of walleyes into the teens. Yes, I said teens. Trolling bottom bouncer and spinner harnesses, crankbaits, and swim baits are key presentations used in the big lake throughout the summer months. Fall sees a dramatic movement of walleye into the river where a lot of 10-pound plus fish are caught. There's a number of full facility resorts around the lake that cater to visiting anglers. Next up is a flying-in destination, Gangler's North Seal River Lodge in north central Manitoba. This is a high-end operation. The facility is amazing, a 5-star accommodation for sure. The food, boats, guides, everything about it is top-notch. Gangler's North Seal River Lodge has exclusive access to 7,200 miles of watershed, with flyouts from the main lodge to countless outpost lakes. There's more water here containing fish that have never seen a lure than one could possibly imagine. There's a lot of different fishing options. Walleye, lake trout, grayling, and if it's monster pike that tops your bucket list, then you're definitely heading to the right place. You won't recognize your lures at the end of the day. The hardest part with this many species to fish for is packing all the rods and lures you'll want to take with you, and that's a good problem to have.
There goes my... Whoa, whoa.
You know, sometimes the adventure and the journey itself is as memorable as the fish you catch. Brett, what are a couple trips that you've had that are very memorable?
Oh man, everyone has its own kind of special memory because everyone's different in its own way. But one thing that I'm thinking about right now is our trip to Peralt Lake, Manitowoc Lodge, because I know that right now they are catching fish on jigging Raps there, because we were there last July and it was incredible. It was one after another and they were all big. And the reason that I found out about that lake was through social media. Saw pictures posted on Facebook of big fish and had to go up there and check it out myself. But that's up there. That's one of my top trips for sure.
That's pretty awesome for sure. Well, right now we're going to join Nick Linder with the first of our Buzz Bite reports.
Yeah, there's definitely some very good walleye fishing opportunities north of the border in Canada. But for our first report, we're going to check in with Toby Cavalivog south of the border on the Walleye Factory, Leech Lake.
We just finished up the ultimate fishing camp up here in Leech Lake. We had a lot of pros in town, and we did a lot of different tactics for a lot of people, caught a lot of fish, and here's how. We pulled spinners and crawlers. The mud transition from the sand and the mud in the Walker Bay and the main lake, even some of the deeper spots like the trench out of Stony Point. The sand and mud transitions are the mayflies are at, and that bite's going pretty well. Some of the fish are a little finicky. That's why spinners is successful, because it's this presentation. You can speed up, cover a lot of ground, and catch a lot of fish. Bobbers in the evening, trolling crankbaits in the evening, also a tactic in the North Walker Bay area and all those sand spots, and throughout the main lake as well in the West Goose Flats in those areas. So fish fast, fish often, and have fun. That's the report for Leech Lake.
Thanks, Toby. Now next up, we're gonna head over to North Dakota where Peter Olson spills the beans on a few of his favorite small boat lakes.
First, we're here on the Canal Lakes. There's East and West Park Lake, Hecker's Lake, and New Johns Lake. The nice thing about these lakes is you can access them from almost anywhere with canoes or kayaks. And on windy days, the steep banks of the canal will keep you protected from the wind. Our second favorite small boat lake is the north arm of Lake Audubon, for several different reasons. The north arm of Lake Audubon is an idle-only lake, so you don't need to worry about the big boats running you over. Second, the north arm of Lake Audubon is connected to the main lake of Audubon, so your big fish opportunities are just the same. And finally, is there's a variety of fish. You can go out and catch bass, walleyes, pike, and even muskie. So remember, you don't need a big boat to catch big fish. And that's this week's Buzz Bite Report.
Thanks, Peter. Now don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we have more Buzz Bite reports to come as Angling Buzz continues.
You have a choice, turf or surf. It's fishing season. Welcome to the outdoors. We're baiting, casting, drifting, and limiting out. The outdoors never felt so good. Catch, release, and keepers. The outdoors never tasted so good. It's fishing season. We are outdoors. Mills Fleet Farm.
Looking for the perfect fishing vacation? Leech Lake, Minnesota. There's over 112,000 acres of water to explore, with fantastic walleye, bass, pike, panfish, and trophy muskies. The fishing opportunities are endless. Leech Lake has it all, with over 30 resorts, lodges, campgrounds, and hotels line its pristine shores. Plan your trip. It's Minnesota's original up-north vacation destination.
Sportsmen, we're truck people, we're gear people, we're Radco people. Top brands like Leer, Access, WeatherTech, Kurtz, and more. Price match guarantee, exceptional service, professional installation, researched, tested, approved. Radco, when your truck looks good, you look good.
Having spent a lifetime fishing all over North America, I know a lot about water, wind, and waves. Water can be an inviting place, and yet at the same time, it can also be very unforgiving. With a simple push of a button, this fully adjustable Smooth Moves air suspension is designed to tame the waves and give you a smooth and comfortable ride no matter what conditions you face. Tame the water, wind, and waves with Smooth Moves.
Welcome back to Angling Buzz. Now for our next report, we're gonna head over to Michigan where Captain Chad Diltz breaks down the bite on both inland lakes and Lake Michigan.
You know, we're in the middle of July. We had some really warm temperatures, and it's really increased the temperatures of our inland lakes and Lake Michigan. You know, in Lake Michigan, for the guys looking for salmon and lake trout, it's really forced that thermocline down to that 60 to 90 foot range, but it's also made for really excellent fishing. Guys wanting to vertical jig are doing really well. Guys wanting to troll are doing the same. On our inland lakes, we're just coming off of a pretty heavy mayfly hatch, which in turn has forced most of our walleye and our smallmouth over the breaks and into that deeper water zone, kind of the secondary July zone. We're really starting to see our summer patterns established. Anglers wanting to target walleye are doing really well an hour before dark and an hour after dark leading into the evening. Anglers trolling crankbaits and body baits with inline planer boards are doing really well in that 15 to 20 foot zone. And anglers also wanting to do something more light tackle with slip bobbers and jig heads and leeches, they're also doing good and having good results.
Thanks, Chad. Now let's head over to the Fox River in Wisconsin, where Troy Peterson is on a hot multi-species bite.
It's that time of the year where all these small little bait fish that have hatched are starting to congregate up underneath the bridges, and these white bass turn into little feeding piranhas. And it's great action for the kids. Doesn't require a whole lot of effort or equipment to do. We've got the whole Fox River from the 41 bridge that's here behind me all the way through town. Plenty of places to fish, and really all you need is a couple jigs, a few pieces of plastic, and you can go up, just cast up underneath the bridges or some of the shorelines, and you're gonna have an absolute blast. And you never know what you're gonna catch. You can catch white bass, you can catch pike, walleyes, crappies, catfish. Just a ton of action right now going on in the river, especially with the recent rains and the current. It's really brought a lot of fish into the river and making for some good fishing for everybody.
Next up, let's check in with Josie Guerra in the Alexandria region of Minnesota.
Well, this past week we've been enjoying a solid bite on sunfish, crappie, and walleye. Sunfish are still in that 3 to 8 foot of water. The crappies, they've been in that 12 to 15 foot of water, suspended over anything in that you can find in a type of structure in that area, whether it be down trees, some thick weeds, small tube jig, 1/32 ounce head on there. Jig through, can catch your sunfish and crappies that way. Walleyes seem to be right on the outside weed edge with a Lindy rig. Leeches, crawlers, pulled real slow. If you can find any holes in the weeds, that's still been dynamite. But that works great early morning, evenings. After dark, been just trolling a small crankbait. A jointed seems to be best, about a number 5. And 7 to 9 foot of water right along the pencil weeds has been excellent. Biggest fish this week's been just over 30 inches. A lot of fish over 20, along with some great stringers of fish too. So anytime you get that combo platter, it's tough to beat anywhere in the state.
Up next, let's head up to Lake Vermilion, where Billy Rosner is joined by Jason and Mason Freed.
Mason just caught this beautiful pike. It's a dandy. I'm gonna get in the water here pretty quick. It's a nice dark overcast day, and we're just burning spinner baits, and it's all about speed this time of year. Water temperatures are pretty warm, 73, 74, and these fish are pretty active.
Started off throwing some smaller spinners, and it seems like when we switched things up to more just a tandem blade, and we started really burning them over the top of the cabbage, and then we get some big ones just like this dandy.
Walleyes are holding their own out on the lake. Lindy rigging, jigging wraps. Been doing a lot of weed line fishing out on the lake. Rigs with a half a crawler, 0.5, 0.8, and should put some walleyes in your boat.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Tough to beat big pike and walleyes on Lake Vermilion. Now don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we have cool products, Radco Rig Your Ride, and the technique of the week as Angling Buzz continues.
Some lodges are just a cut above. Hawk Lake is one of those. They're the only Orvis-endorsed lodge in all of Ontario, and they're the 4-time finalists for the best Orvis lodge in all of North America. They feature cordon bleu trained chefs and offer some of the best freshwater fishing in the world. You can target trophy walleye, smallmouth bass, pike and lake trout on any of their 19 private lakes. Whether you fish with traditional gear or love fly fishing, Hawk Lake has you covered.
According to Minnesota's Department of Natural Resources, in 2017, 97% of boaters surveyed by watercraft inspectors followed Minnesota's clean, drain, dispose laws. Let's keep it this way. Clean aquatic plants and animals from boats, trailers, and equipment. Drain all water from watercraft, including the motor, and keep drain plugs out during transport. Dispose of unused bait properly. Together, we're preventing the spread of aquatic invasive species in Minnesota.
If you're looking at this, how do you know it's not this? If you see this, how do you know it's not actually this? Trust your AquaView and you'll see the real underwater world. AquaView leads by innovation. First in high definition, first in handheld viewing, the finest underwater optics, the brightest, sharpest screens, the original underwater camera, and the fish finder that puts you on the fish.
Explore Alexandria, Minnesota. Whether it's a long weekend or a week-long loaded with family fun, you'll find plenty of things to do in Alex. Unleash your inner explorer with over 300 lakes, beaches, parks, hundreds of miles of trails, dining, golf, shopping, museums, and history. Alexandria is Minnesota's hidden gem. Go to explorealex.com to find your vacation this season.
And now it's time for our cool products brought to you by Fleet Farm. We're talking about traveling, so you definitely need a good bag. Got a couple different ones here. This is from Red Rock. This is just an over-the-shoulder style. Great pockets, very durable, lightweight. And for a little bit more storage, from Ugly Sick, this is a medium tackle bag. Check this out. Okay, so this is a front-loading tackle bag, so you can access your tackle boxes there. You can also access your tackle boxes on top as a shoulder strap and side pockets as well from Ugly Stick. And first aid is important. You know, keep a little first aid kit like this one from Curade. This is a nice compact one. It's called compact, literally with 75 different items in there. Keeping the boat, keeping your bag. And then a hook remover kit. This one is from South Bend, have both of those together. And up next here, the Buckshot Flutter Spoon from Northland Tackle. These can be trolled, cast, vertical, jig, different sizes, great for bass, pike, just about everything. And if you're fishing shallow water slop, if you're from shore, these are great. These are Terminator popping frog and walking frog. These kind of work in place really slowly. So if there's little pockets in between the lily pads, little twitches like that, and actually it won't jump forward like that. It kind of goes side to side. And next, the Cicada from Reef Runner. You can see it just has two little hooks in the front, two hooks in the back, not treble hooks, so it won't get hung up if you're fishing around rocks. Size from 1/16 all the way up to 3/4 ounce, the Cicada from Reef Runner. And next up from MEPS, they're inline spinners. You can fish these, bigger ones like this for muskie, smaller ones can work great for pike, bass, even the tiny little MEPS that I throw for trout work great. Single blade and double blades, different styles, different colors from MEPS. And for top water, the Whopper Plopper from River to Sea. This was designed by Larry Dahlberg. This is great for muskie and pike, but also for largemouth bass. This has definitely come on strong in the bass tournament world. Even out west, a lot of guys are throwing this for largemouth bass. It has a loud action. You can slow roll this, burn this. The Whopper Plopper, this is the 190 version from River to Sea. And if you fish at night or early in the morning, good headlamp is always needed. This is from Railvac to Sportsman's. Headlamp, this has 9 different modes. You get the batteries inside there. This is definitely something you want to have. And lastly, if you're a traveling angler, a 6 foot to 6.5, 7 foot medium action spinning rod is needed, especially a 2-piece one. This is the Proficiency. There's a lot of different ones at Fleet Farm that you can get. This one retails for right around 50 bucks. It's a great little combo here. You got an anti-reverse on there from Proficiency. Again, there's a lot of different multi-piece rods, combinations that are available at your local Mills Fleet Farm store. You can also get them online at fleetfarm.com.
Your truck is more than just a commuter to get from here to there. Lots of us practically live in our trucks. They help us pull our boats, trailers, and gear to the next adventure. The things you haul are just as important as the truck holding it. The bed of your truck can be more than just an open box. Make the most of the space and organize the madness. So why not rig your ride? Here's a few awesome add-ons for your truck to keep things a little more clean and organized. Let's start with the undercover swing case. This easy to install, lockable swing case provides convenient, secure, out-of-the-way storage for your gear. And with 2 inches of clearance, it won't interfere with hauling sheet materials. Got bigger items like totes, boxes, or even house renovation supplies? The Cargo Glide does the job. With their selection of different models, you can pick one for the job required, ranging a load capacity from 1,000 to 2,200 pounds. Do you have a fiberglass topper and just need a little extra overhead storage? Check out the Leer Locker. The Leer Locker is a ceiling-mounted storage system that makes the most of your space you rarely use. It's an overhead sliding drawer where you can organize your gear, keeping it hidden and securely locked up. Storage dividers can be adjusted to hold sports equipment, camping, hunting, fishing gear, and more. How about a solution that allows you full use of your truck bed with the ability to store smaller items underneath with organization? Go with the deck storage system. Drawers slide out and have individual compartments for your things. Add in the decked D-box and now you have a second level of organization. Your truck is where you spend a lot of time. It's easy to get it organized and looking good with a trip to Radco. And remember, when your truck looks good, you look good.
If you're going to fish a city park lake or jumping in the boat with a friend, or even hiking to a stream like this, a travel tackle kit is essential for the angler on the go. I like to start with a backpack first. You can have a simple backpack like this with a couple pockets, or you can go more elaborate here with more pockets, more storage space. And for tackle boxes, if you're a bass guy like I am, a nice soft plastic box like this, different stick baits, swim baits, different sizes. Weights are all right here, different jigs, all the hooks are together like this. Really nice and easy. And if you're a multi-species angler, which most of us are in the upper Midwest, you know, some jerkbait, shad wraps, some different jigs over here, panfish jigs, hair jigs, and then some lipless baits, jigging wraps, and then some moon eye jigs, which are really good both for live bait and soft plastic. Some rubber bands that kind of keep everything organized inside. And for line, I'm usually fishing braid with a leader, so I'll keep a backup braid on there. And again, 8-pound, 10-pound test, fluorocarbon and monofilament. And for tools, you want to start with definitely a good pair of scissors. These are nice floating fish grippers if you're dealing with toothy critters. A good set of strong pliers. And then I also like forceps. I do fish carp and trout a lot. And a nice scale so you can show off your catches to your friends. And you put all this together with a nice, 6'6" medium action rod like this from St. Croix, and an easy reel split up with braid like this, and you are set for just about any adventure for the angler on the go.
Yeah, I thought that was a really, really good tip, Troy, because I think that a little bag like that with all the stuff you need is something that a lot of people could use. And I know I always have a bag like that prepared for when I'm going to go out fishing with my buddies.
Yeah, it's great I've used it for carp, bass, trout, walleye, mainly from shore and from hiking around. It's really essential. When the bite's happening, you're ready.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Troy. You got to be ready for anything. Now make sure to check in next week because we're going to be talking about river fishing.
And we want to remind you, like we do every week, to help stop the spread of aquatic invasive species. When you leave any body of water, clean, drain, and dry.
And don't forget to check us out online at AnglingBuzz.com for the latest in fishing information.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Troy Linder.
And I'm Nick Linder. We will see you next week.
This week's Buzz Bite Report.
Tony Roach. Ray Broston.
Lee Telkin here. Leech Lake.
Devil's Lake. Beautiful Lake Vermilion.
Black.
Topwater's been really, really fun.
Go to the plastics.
Bass like this. A lot of walleyes like that.
Giant bluegills.
Good luck, everybody.
Have fun. We'll see you next week.